morning. My name is Megan Edwards of Focus Communications, and today we're getting an update from Kuya Silver, which trades on the Canadian Stock Exchange under the symbol KUYA. And joining me today, we have President and CEO David Stein. David, thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me.
Now, as a general introduction to Kuya Silver, for those new to Kuya, could you please give us a brief overview of the company and the Bethania district where you're currently operating?
Sure. Well, we've got two fantastic silver projects. The one we'll focus on today, and you asked about, is the Bethania project. That's our flagship. It's in Peru. It's much more advanced, basically almost production ready at this stage. And it's a recent past producer that we've been working on for the past few years, doing permitting, so that we can build our own mill at site and get it back into production. We identified it as having tremendous exploration potential. Very little exploration has been done historically. And at the same time, they were mining very rich silver grades up until 2016. So we have been looking at making some improvements, one of which would be the new mill, and putting it back into production. And so that's really where the company has started. Mm-hmm. And, by doing that, we've been able to sort of run with two different tracks to create value for shareholders, including exploration. We've had a really big 2022, despite the poor markets. In early 2022, we put out our first resource estimate. Right. And at the same time, so we've been delivering some, then we made some more exploration success, more discoveries on the Bethania property itself with some new veins. So we've been able to sort of add value on the exploration track, but at the same time, moving the project closer and closer to going back into production. And, that's how you add value on the development side. So we've been able to do that, get permits. We put out a really positive PEA as well a couple of months ago. So we've been able to move, everything forward, which has really been great. And, at the same time, we've now accumulated a massive district around the Bethania mine itself, where to date, all of our exploration has occurred. But we know that there's much more excitement in this district. Right. Only a few kilometers away, we acquired another past producing mine called Carmelita that looks identical to Bethania, and then we've also been able to accumulate other properties around the mine itself. The mine property, the permitted mine concession, is in the black there. The mill area is in blue. That's a separate permit. And then, we've been able to acquire all the land that you see there in gray and pink in a couple of different tranches. So we've got so many targets in the region, just a few kilometers away from the mine. But that being said, there's actually a lot more exploration to do at the mine itself, which is still open along strike and at depth. So we're just scratching the surface here on a huge new silver district, and we're very excited about that.
And with the Bethania mine, it's been a major area of focus for your company. Can you run us through a little bit of the work to date by the company?
Sure. So on the exploration side, we did a drill program that was mostly occurred last year, and then we finalized the resource estimate this year. So that came out, and we basically identified a number of parallel veins that we knew about from past mining, but we have a much clearer picture now as to what's going on there. Right. We discovered 18 different veins that went into the resource estimate, and some of them are related to each other, though. So what we've done is subdivided them into 3 vein systems. This is one vein system that I'm showing you now, called the Doce de MAYO. And we've got very super high grade resources in the pink, everything from the light green and up would be in our reserve estimate, or our resource estimate, I should say. And, that's been a big, part of our work effort in the last year, as well as accumulating the bigger land package and the PEA. So that's what we've been working on.
And what about upside potential, since most of the previous drilling looks to be quite shallow? Do you see growth at depth there?
Yeah, no. So here's the perfect slide to show the exploration potential. And again, keep in mind, we're just on the mine concession itself, and we're not going abroad yet. So on the mine concession, we've got the mine area here, which I can kind of draw on here. So we've got this area here. This is where our current resource estimate is, and it's sort of a mix. About half of it is in between the known mine levels, and about half of it is below the lowest mine level in sort of new area. However, this is still very shallow. We're talking about, on average, about 200 meters from surface, and these deposits can go a lot deeper than that. And we're still getting, you can see by the samples that I've shown here, you can see we're still getting tremendous high-grade silver samples. That suggests that we're not seeing any metal zonation yet. Still very precious metal rich, which tends to indicate that we've still got quite a bit of depth below us here. So, we think we can at least double the resource at depth here. And then along strike, we know we've got a new zone over here. We've made some tremendous discoveries on surface, and we need to go back in there and also start drilling there to see, how deep those veins go, and if it all connects up at depth under the hill there. So, and then it's still open in this way too, to the east. So there's lots and lots of upside potential here. And again, that's without even leaving the original Bethania property.
And for our listeners, could you tell us why Kuya Silver as an investment opportunity?
Well, look, I think Kuya really gives investors, the best of both worlds. When you think about junior mining and how the companies create value, it's through, resource growth, and it's through production growth. And we have the potential to do both, which really gives our investors two ways to win. So having a more advanced project like Bethania is less risky technically, and yet, right now we're valued sort of very, similarly to many of the pure exploration juniors out there, or even cheaper. So I think there's, tremendous upside from the point of view of, in a better silver market, being able to put together that production story with the exploration story, marrying them together, which is really where you see the best returns in our sector. And, you have to have the assets to be able to do that, and we have them.
Thank you so much for joining me today. And we will be watching Kuya Silver closely and look forward to having you back on with additional updates.
All right. My pleasure. Thanks a lot.